gosh.
It was, when we drove up, it was going up what?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
6 or 8 feet.
left, and you see that flat tan area where his hair will be carved. You get to that gray rock that has not been carved off yet. Well, Mount Rushmore fits between those 2 points. Now, Mount Rushmore at its tallest is 60 feet, the top of Washington's head to the bottom of the lapels. Well, Crazy Horse's face alone up there is 87.5 feet tall. So good old George only makes it up to the eyebrows of Crazy Horse. Now that hole you see there, that tunnel, well, that was carved out in the mid-60s by Korchak and his kids. Good old George's head would fit in that hole. Now that tunnel was originally 140 feet long. Now it's about 40 feet, so it gives you a good idea how much rock has been taken off this mountain. Originally, that tunnel yielded about 400,000 tons of rock. Mount Rushmore, about 450,000 tons. To date, we've taken off almost 14 million. Now the outstretched arm of Crazy Horse and his finger, well, that's about the length of a football field. We can comfortably sit a 747 jumbo jet up there. Now the white painted lines you see, well, they're about 6 feet wide, and they take about 176 gallons of paint to touch up every so often. Now Korchak did do those originally, hanging off the side of the mountain. His wife Ruth would be down below with a pair of binoculars on walkie-talkie and telling him how to move. Now Korchak was a beast. He loved hanging off this mountain and carving. He did whatever he had to do. Well, he did have one fear though, and that would be Ruth asking for a second coat of paint. Now the eye of that horse, the diameter of that eye, is about the length of this bus. And as you see, there are guys working up there. As we get closer, it'll be a better shot for you to see them, but they are working on the hand, the mane of the horse, and the finger. They're also working on the head of Crazy Horse. Now, when we do complete the feather on top of Crazy Horse's head, that will make us 563 feet tall, about 8 feet taller than the Washington Monument. We're 641 feet in the round. We are the world's largest carving or sculpture. And that's not because it's hot, or it gets really nasty up here. That's because that mountain we're carving is known as Thunderhead Mountain. It's full of iron. So it becomes a giant natural lightning rod in a storm. It's 22 stories tall. The face of Crazy Horse up there, that was done about 20 to 30 years ago. And we did things a little differently back then. It looks like a crown on top of Crazy Horse's head. Well, that's actually an old school measuring device. And they would actually rotate an arm around that, drop a plumb bob, and a man would hang it down below with a stick rule. That's how they measured. Well, today, folks, it's all about computers, lasers, and GPS. And they actually took the lasers up there, checked out that facial dimension to make sure it was close. It is within millimeters. So it shows you an old school plumb bob and stick rule is pretty accurate. It took a lot of care and effort to make sure of it. Today, doesn't matter with a breezy day like today, you point, shoot, and a little red dot shows up, and it makes life a lot easier up there. We have 2 daughters that are working out here as well, Monique and Vika, and they are co-CEOs of the operation. Monique is actually a carver and sculptor in her own right, and she is in charge of the mountain crew. And the rock crushing operation is on the left-hand side as we pass. We have 1,100 acres out here, the largest tree farm in South Dakota. And when you go back to the visitor center and you see all that ponderosa pine, the paneling, the ceilings, the soffits. Ever had a fatality or life-threatening injury? I mean, there's always a possibility of injuries from a local although some would argue because we're down the side of the mountain, it's not close. That's a real near miss. Yeah, when you go back to the business center, I'll point you out, there's a 130-foot scale model on the veranda that you can actually set up. And then they plot the points out. And they'll mark them out, and then they know exactly how far they have to drill down and stuff like that. Oh, there's a piece of rock. Did you hear it? Oh yeah, it's amazing. And,
I mean, even a small piece like that, it's like a gun going off up there.
So the roads go all the way up to where they build the trucks up there in the crane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, the hard hat tour will drop you off underneath the crane, and you can walk out to the arm.
Oh, really? So there is a tour that will do that.
Well, there's no known photographs. But according to the elders that gave the descriptions when he came back with the carving,
I'll tell you what, Wes. It's no heck of it. I'm going to come back in 75 years to see this.
I'll tell you what, I'll come join you. I'm going to come join you. I'm going to get, that's a good Lord to let me come back down here.
There you go.
See it, you know?
I'll be kind of powdery, but
Yeah, you know. I think if he grants me one wish, I might come back.
there you go.